Welcome to today's video on my channel. We'll be going through 2022, Thor, Love, and Thunder. It's time to. Let's get started, switch on. Spoilers and subtitles ahead. The film begins with Gorr and his daughter adores the last of their race, struggle in a barren desert. They neither have anything to eat or drink, and as they continue walking until Gorr comes to a halt and prays. His prayers, however, are directed to the deity Rapu, not heard, and no one rushes to his aid. His daughter is unable to grasp any longer and dies of thirst and hunger in the middle of nowhere. He buries his daughter in the desert. He continues his journey as he walks, notices a woodland in the distance, when he believes that the gods must have answered his prayers and begins to walk toward the direction of the woodland. He arrives and notices a stream of. He immediately leaps into the fresh water. She drinks a lot of water before moving. Look forward to the fresh fruits in that. It is when he saw Rapu seated behind him, and he inquires as to why he is consuming his fruits. Gorr claims to be is the one who has come to his aid. Rapu is now here because I prayed to him. Rapu assures him that he has everything. He is not at all present to save him. He explains to Rapu that humans used to. He is the only one who believes in him. Rapu is the only one remaining, thus he should always be present. He claims that no one is helping him. Left behind in his family, just his daughter was present. Rapu claims she fled and is no longer there. That most individuals make sacrifices for. Gorr should make their gods pleased. Just think of it as a sacrifice. He's made him happy after Rapu viciously treated him. Mocks Gorr's situation, he rejects God. The necrophile was strangled by Rapu. The sword is offered to the Gorr who kills. It's Rapu with it, and swears to destroy all gods. The scene then turns to the central character, who is giving the children a Thor story. He may fight for everyone, but he only fights for himself. He hasn't fought for himself since he was a child. Thor, even as a youngster, was always eager to assist others with no expectations from them. They then met a woman called Jane, began to love each other, but it was not mutual. That wasn't meant to be, and they split up quickly. Thor, on the other hand, was abandoned. Alone, gradually all of the individuals all of the people that are close to, liked him or grew apart from him, for whatever reason, or they just perished, battling. But one unique feature, Thor is notable for his resilience in the face of adversity. All of the aforementioned hardships, not give up the battle and went on to join. He fought the Guardians of the Galaxy, countless battles with the Guardians of the Galaxy. However, anytime he was out there, the only thought that crossed his head was, he has not been able to forget Jane. Thor's wife then became tired of he was weary of social life in the human world, and resolved to begin living on his own. He currently lives alone in a remote place, but anytime someone approaches him and claims that the battle cannot be won, Thor would prepare for the battle without him, fight right away, and then we'll see. That Peter Quill travels to Thor's realm, place, and informs him that there is without him, the struggle cannot be won. This is when he grabs his Stormbreaker, transforms it into a wand. He promptly makes his way out of there, heads to battle, where the army of the Guardians of the Galaxy are battling the enemy. When the king of the land notices him there as he comes up to him, demands that he fight for them, stating that they are under assault. He is everywhere and only he can save them. Claims that their lives are normal and they're living in harmony. But then, someone killed the god, and then that these individuals arrived and began battling with them. These are thugs who are there to rob them of all valuable they own. He claims they have already taken they have power over the temple. Thor guarantees. He assures him that he will save them all. He then takes up Stormbreaker and ties it together to himself and continues to battle, begins killing everyone who comes his way. Thor, after a hard battle, succeeds in fight the war for them, but in the thick of it, the magnificent temple is destroyed. Ground. The focus then changes to the female character, who is Jane the Lady, Mighty Thor, suffering with cancer in its 4th stage, and Darcy is also present. Darcy sits with her and inquires about the man she is dating. Used to adore Jane, but no longer does enjoy discussing it, and continues to avoid the inquiry. Jane and Thor are not in a relationship. Connection no longer exists, and for a period of 8 years, Jane worked as a professor. She researches scientific hypotheses, and also gives a talk about them. One day, she comes upon the Vikings book. It contains information regarding Thor's. We also saw a weapon named Mjolnir there, Valkyrie, who has been residing at her new home. There's a play going on in Asgard that day. This is based on Thor, Loki, and Odin. These folks are on stage performing. In the meantime, Dr. Jane, Thor's ex-girlfriend, with medical therapy proving beneficial and effective, journeys to the new Asgard, hoping that Thor's hammer muzzle has caused fractures might heal because of an enchantment Thor put on it unintentionally years before. Mjolnir reforges to safeguard Jane, and on the other side, it binds itself to her. Thor is rewarded by the king of the land. He has saved their lives with 2 massive goats. Therefore, he wishes to give him the goats as a prize when Thor and the others are successful. Return to their ship, Peter continues on to his moment. She calls and advanced. They continue to study communication systems. that many countries require their assistance. All of these individuals are currently appealing for assistance, and everyone has responded, claiming that their gods are being slaughtered. Thor notices other things while watching the video. Thief is a close buddy of his, and Thor informs his other teammate, away from the fact that they must save Safe and the individuals who live in her nation. When Peter informs Thor that her homeland is not the only one who requires assistance, therefore, they should separate and travel to other places, countries to come to their aid after that. Thor and his closest pal, right, when they get to Thief, they make their way there. When they arrive, they discover the deity of fraud has also been slain by someone there. Discovers a thief who is severely hurt with one. Finn had already slashed her hands on to inform him that whoever was responsible for this, she is up next. The target is new. He is Asgard. We then discovered that he was already on his way to that location. Glimpse the film's villain, who is a fact, it is Gorr who has the Necrosword, and with its assistance, he travels to the new Asgard with his sword, produces a slew of creatures and gives him commands to completely demolish the city. Thor appears. Much as Gorr's onslaught in New Asgard begins, Valkyrie is also present and begin murdering any creature that appears. We can see from their perspective that despite Thor, his companions slaying the creatures, when the population continues to rise, Thor will appear. Mjolnir notices his ancient weapon, having the impression that there is a great warrior among others as well as the warriors. This is where Valkyrie comes in and expresses her certainty that he will. When you like this brave warrior, Jane makes her debut as Mighty Thor. Thor also brings his mighty hammer. Thor, they are delighted to see each other. They can see each other after a long period. Congratulate them on their early success. They then have a significant challenge to cope with. We're back to battling, and this is where we're at. Saw a flashback to when they two were together, to live happily together, although they were summoned to various locations, so it was impossible for them to go on because of their relationship. Finished it, they've had hectic lives, therefore they've not been able to catch up on what had happened. Moving on with one another back to the present, the group's idea is Gorr, but he flees after abducting numerous Asgardians, children, and putting them in prison. Just as Thor is ready to enter the Dark Realm, the beast had already caught up with him. The next day, all of the parents who had children are missing. Visit the station. Report the children. This is when Thor appears to the hall teeming with concerned parents. He informs them of his vow, telling all of them that he will bring. He then returns to the children and speaks to them. His pals about their foe, Valkyrie, informs him that the man possesses the Necro. It's a sword that might simply be used an end to all gods everywhere. He is informed that the sword is so strong that potentially generate a large number of monsters. Dark magic. Jane then inquires as to what they are discussing, and Thor informs her that the Necrosword is a sword that has been resurrected, altering its owners as time passes. Whoever holds the wicked weapon at the moment, this weapon that they will become, there will be corruption and brutality, be a desire for power and vengeance, and that is just what Gorr has done. Using that sword, the group then notices one of the children. He shows them holographic pictures and tells them that Thor has claimed the T2. Immediately asks him where they are right now, but the boy informs him he has no idea how to use his abilities properly. Thor then proceeds to make him. His eyes must be focused. Thor connects with the boy's gaze and they eventually get to the location where Gorr is keeping all of the children. When the kids see Thor, they are all quite excited. They are relieved and delighted, and then they continue to pleading with him to get them out of there. That's when Thor informs them he's leaving. In actuality, this is not the case. His mind is unconscious mind, but he adds that people need not be concerned. They should not be afraid either. He's sending his troops to save everyone. He then returns to his conscious mind and informs the others that they have retained the children in the area of space that has. He claims that Gorr has no light at all, so potent on Earth, which suggests he's going to be far more powerful in space. He replies that if they want to put it in, they can. They're going to need a genuine army. Gorr, foreign, then travels to the all-powerful city to warn the other gods and request their assistance in. We see many gods as we build an army. There are stone gods and wax gods at that location. They're even more gods of sentiments than we are. Look at the god of thunder. This is the time when he notices the arrival of the god of gods. Zeus had scheduled a meeting for that day, where they want to talk about something. They've been doing essential stuff on a global scale. When the group attempts to listen in on their conversations, it turns out to be this is a topic of over-party items. When Thor becomes irritated due to there are, of course, more serious issues in. They're talking about the planet right now, about what they want to do in the future. He then gets up and bids farewell, presents himself to Zeus, informs him that he has come to request his aid. He informs them that all the gods are one by one, and Gorr is he's been able to do anything because of the person behind this. This is due to his possession of the Necro Sword. Informs Zeus that Gorr has been kidnapped several times, children from New Asgard, and has taken them. He speaks of the blackness of space, that he needs their help to save the children, but assists Zeus as leader, fears Gorr and is hesitant to assist. believing that they may remain secure, and Zeus orders that the city be concealed from Gorr, the captive troops, in order to prevent them from exposing the city's location to Gorr. Thor impales Zeus after Zeus injures Gorr. Valkyrie was struck by his thunderbolt, steals before fleeing. Thor and Jane's trip continues, restore their loving connection. Jane discloses her sickness. The party arrives in the Shadow Realm, but cannot locate the youngsters. Jane discovers old paintings depicting Stormbreaker, Thor's fighting axe, to call the Bifrost into the realm of eternity, and determines the trap set. She throws out by Gorr's Stormbreaker to keep Gorr from getting his hands on it. Nevertheless, Gorr overwhelms the group and Thor is forced to intervene as Jane threatens to murder him. Bring it back. Gorr effectively snatches Stormbreaker and badly injures Valkyrie. Before a weekend, Jane falls. Thor returned to New Asgard, realizes that Jane's Thor form is not allowing her body to naturally fight cancer. Thor persuades Jane to allow him. As she rests, confront Gorr alone. Thor locates the stolen children at Eternity's altar and, utilizing Zeus' thunderbolt, imbues them with his power to combat Gorr's creatures while Gorr versus. When Jane suspects Gorr, as Thor is about to be killed, she joins them. They fight Mjolnir to save him, shatter the Necrosword, releasing Gorr. Its impact, yet the three are brought together. Gorr was about to enter the domain of forever. To grant his request, Thor begs Gorr to, instead of reviving his daughter, annihilating the gods. Thor then departs. Gorr makes his choice and attends to Jane, who dies as a result of her disease, and dies in his arms as a result of their show. Gorr aspires for eternity in order to resurrect love, which it provides as Gorr dies as a result of that. He begs Thor to take care of his curse, love, and the children who follow. Return to the New Asgard where Valkyrie resides, and a thief begins teaching them, and a monument is built. Thor was constructed in honor of Jane, who supports him in his adventures, and the former brandishing Mjolnir and the latter wielding. We then see the latter holding Stormbreaker. In the final scene of the film, a recuperating suit in the omnipotent city sends his son Hercules to assassinate Thor. With that, the film concludes. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.